Count me down or count me in?
You're in.
Just don't count me out. Am I in? Can you edit this?
Yes.
Hi, y'all. We had so much fun with Jim McLaughlin's visit that we had to split it into two parts. So you're about to enjoy the part two of Notes with Jim McLaughlin. And we appreciate him coming in. We appreciate you watching our other videos on our YouTube channel, live at 12:05. And we invite sponsors. However, for Jim, he was very adamant that we could not compensate him, but he requested that any compensation be donated to the Musicians Relief Fund. And he was one of the first recipients of the revived Musicians Relief Fund. We did a wonderful, beautiful, loving benefit for him in about 2017 and at the Historic Everett Theater to help him get a new kidney, and we did a good job, and he's recovered nicely from that. And we just want to say, Jim, we love you. We can't wait to have you back into the studio because that was so much fun with all of the stories, and I know you have a lot more stories to share with us. So join us along this ride with Notes on Life from Jim McLaughlin, part 2. Thanks, y'all.
So I had laminates made and I had posters and all this stuff. But I wanted to give bands that didn't get a chance to play festivals to get a festival situation and play in a festival.
Yes.
That was one of my things. And I've had people fly in, Radio Blues is flying in twice at their own expense from Mexico. Another guy flew in from Florida to play, Chicago, St. Louis, Ohio.
Oh, your harmonica buddies that have come from across the country.
Yeah. And they come at their own expense.
Yeah.
It's been, it's pretty amazing.
A little show put on called For the Love of Jim.
Oh yeah, that was my cancer benefit for my liver transplant.
As a result of that, there are people in my life that I'm very fond of.
I'm not fond of anybody. Fuck them.
I know.
You heard me.
We know better, don't we? We know better.
Yeah, I figure if you can't smile and laugh, you can't do much. Yeah, I know.
Oh, and I'm
blessed. I'm really blessed.
I have the absolute. Honey, is my hand out of TV range?
Yes.
With all the shit I say, I mean, it's too late. Sorry, Rob. I've been trying to keep it down, but something's just come out.
Well, like I said, this is unscripted. This is pure Jim McLaughlin taking us down.
Ooh, I got a good one for you.
I bet.
So I'm doing this tour with Coca-Cola for Fruitopia. They're trying to compete with Snapple. And they had these psychedelically painted school buses, and there were like 7 buses. And they went to different parts of the U.S., and they would stop and put on a performance and give out Fruitopia. So I was on this one bus, and Jim Hine played guitar and me, and they had this guy, I am Llama Man. He'd have a costume, and he'd go out and tell stories and stuff. And then they had a guy that great roller skater would do tricks, and a jump roller person would do tricks. And this other guy who ended up being one of the people on the Star Trek Next Generation, I think. He ended up getting that gig. He was on the bus too. But anyway, so we went around I was in Texas, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida. Yeah.
That's how I remember my childhood.
So anyway, they picked the best people and put them on one bus and sent us to Atlanta. We did Houston too, which was one of the big headquarters for Coke. But they sent us to Atlanta, to the big headquarters for Coke. So we were there, and then they even bought me tie-dye pants and helped pay, because they wanted me to look like the hippie and the hippie bus and all this stuff.
Like, go twist
well,
my
notice
arm.
I said stuff instead of shit. I stopped myself. Well, I said it anyway. But anyway, so I'm upstairs at Coca-Cola, and the head of Fruitopia is standing right here. And I don't know nothing about suits, but that's $1,000 suit if it's a penny. I mean, I can look at this thing and it's an expensive suit. I don't know nothing about suits. And the lady right here is the one doing all the reporting to the biggest Atlanta Sun or whatever the biggest newspaper in Atlanta is. And she's asking me questions, and he's standing here. And one of the questions she asked, she goes, "Well, how much do you get paid for this?" And I looked at him and I looked at her and I said, "I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you that, but put it this way, it's the most money I've ever made legally in my life." And I went, "Oh fuck, I said that." And when I said it, I just lit up like a light bulb, It's the most money I've ever made legally in my life. And I looked at him and I'm going, "Oh God, oh shit."
Fly on the wall moment.
Yeah. So anyway, I found her later. I said, "Look, you can write whatever you want," because I said it. I said, "But this is a really good gig, and it's really hard to get gigs as good as this one. So if you'd be nice to me, I'd really appreciate it." So the next morning, I'm called up to the top corner office of Coca-Cola. Big, huge oak desk. The only thing on the desk is the newspaper. And he goes, "You're really lucky." And I guess I never read the article, but this lady wrote all these stellar things about me. So he didn't fire me.
Okay, now I've just had an epiphany and made an executive decision that of all of the guests that we've had, and we've had some wonderful guests, Miss Leah, okay.
Anyway,
Tussing, and Kim Archer and Brian Feist, the lovely Rod Cook.
I went and saw Leah.
My brain's on McLauaghlin.
That's right.
The McLauaghlin frequency level.
In other words, you had a lot of good players.
Yes. But remember, we've had Nick Vigorino, great storyteller. We've had Billy Stoops,
oh boy,
great storyteller. And now we've had Jim McLauaghlin, great storyteller.
Loudmouth bullshitter.
Well,
actually, it's all true. Everything I'm telling you is the truth.
We know this.
Good.
Because we could probably repeat it back to you and say, "Yeah, you're not lying."
No. I've told myself the same lie so many times as the truth. I could probably not. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't be good at it. But anyway, so
I think I should probably jump up out of here and let my engineer husband come over here and have a few conversations and stories with you.
Sure.
Only if I can. No, he said no.
Okay.
He won't get.
I don't blame
the
you, Rob.
camera.
I keep looking at the camera. Can you see me, Rob?
Oh, it's scary.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. We got Freedom Fest. You were in the military, weren't you?
I was.
I was too.
I was a Vietnam veteran, boots on the ground.
So you were Army?
I was in the Army, took 100 hits of LSD with me there, and used to drop acid and watch the firefights and go, "Wow." Watch the tracers going, "Wow." So I don't have PTSD.
No, I think you kicked it in its PTSD ass.
Yeah, I did. I was a hippie, back then. I don't do it anymore. It's past the statute of limitations, so I'm safe. But anyway, yeah, I took 100 hits of acid and used to drop acid and watch the firefights.
Well, I'm same Army.
Yeah.
It might astonish or cause some folks to tremble that I was in the military police.
I was too.
No.
Yes. When I came back,
I never left the States. I did all through my 3 years, Alabama, Georgia, Fort Hood. McLauaghlin, Gordon, and Fort Hood.
I came back from Vietnam, and I signed into my first company. In Nam, you didn't salute because they'd look and see who you salute and they'd shoot them. So we called our lieutenants LTs, So I come back to Oklahoma, Fort Sill, Oklahoma, Lawton, Oklahoma. Oh my God! So anyway, I signed into the company. We got this butter bar lieutenant, which is the second lieutenant, the lowest. There's probably
the yellow bar.
Yellow bar, yeah, gold bar, yellow bar, whatever. Anyway, he Anyway, so I signed into the company. I said, "What's happening, LT?" "That's sir or Lieutenant Tate to you." And I went, just like that, just shaking my head and walking away. So I come in the next morning, I sign in. I go, what's happening, Lieutenant? That's sir or Lieutenant Tate to you. Far out, what's happening, Lieutenant Tate, sir? How's your head today? You getting high, you getting by? You doing okay, Lieutenant Tate, sir? It's really a pleasure to meet you, Lieutenant Tate, sir. I can hardly wait till the next time we're together, Lieutenant Tate, sir. Have a good day, Lieutenant Tate, sir. For months and months, I would bow to him in the hall. Lieutenant Tate, sir, it's such a pleasure to see you again. And, I just, for months and months. So finally, he got me busted from... the only time I was really mean in the Army was this time. He got me busted. They made a rule that if you lived off post, which I always did, you had to come back in at some ridiculous hour and clean your area, which I... So anyway, I showed up for work 5 minutes late one day, and he was talking about, he'd been to the Sha Na Na concert, and he's got a bunch of people sitting on the stairs, and he's telling them about my Walkman. How you doing, Lieutenant, sir? And he's got to stop and recognize me. No matter what the fuck he's doing, he's got to stop and recognize me. So I interrupted the story, and he goes, talking about it, I said, well, Lieutenant Tate, sir, if somebody passed you something, did you pass it on? No, I said, Lieutenant Tate, sir, was your head right for the concert? And he goes, well, if you mean, did I just sit there? He says, no, I got up and, I said, well, Lieutenant Tate, sir, if somebody passed you something, did you pass it on? He goes, well, nobody passed me anything. I said, well, you sit in the wrong seats, Lieutenant Tate, sir. Have a good day. So anyway, and every time it's Lieutenant Tate, sir, Lieutenant Tate, sir, Lieutenant Tate, sir, all the time. So he had one of my sergeants write me up for being late, for not cleaning up my area. And the sergeant even came up and apologized. He said, look, I'm getting ready to get out of the service. He's making this really hard on us. I don't want to do this. I said, I understand. So anyway, I got busted from an E4, which is a corporal, 2 stripes, I was spec 4.
Yeah, me too.
To PFC rank with thing, 3, went from E4 to E3, so basically pay grade.
Busted down, yeah.
Yeah, and some extra duty shit and some stuff. And when I come out of the office, he's right there. And he goes, what do you do? And I told him what he did. And he goes, well, if it was me, I'd have busted you all the way down. And the only mean thing I ever said to him was, don't worry, Lieutenant Tate, sir, by the end of the month, I'll be right at the bottom, just like you. Oh. Have a good day, Lieutenant Tate, sir.
I don't think that was mean.
No, it was. I did a very,
perspective.
You fucking asshole, just like you. And then have a good big spot back with have a good day, Lieutenant Tate, sir.
You were respectful.
I was never respectful of him. Anyway, I just did I knew my regs. I did what the Army said. Like when I was in Nam, they made me a driver for a warrant officer, lieutenant, and the sergeant, but they all thought I was crazy, so they wouldn't let me in the office, much less behind the wheel of a Jeep. So they brought somebody else in to do it, but they had the same MOS, military school basically, same job title as I did, and same rank. And according to Army regs, I knew my regs. If you had 2 people in the same company doing different jobs and they want to switch, you have to let them. So this guy hated lifers and he didn't have the right attitude. I laughed at him. I thought they were funny and they couldn't handle that. They could handle being, agitated at him and stuff, but they couldn't handle laughter and stuff. So the next day I show up for work and we go, what are you doing here? Well, according to Army regulations, blah, 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 I'm your driver. No. So they kicked me out again and brought somebody else with a different title. So I used to do stuff like that, just to, because I knew all my regs. Because
you had fun doing it.
Yeah, I did, and I knew all my regs.
Well, own it. You had fun doing it.
So when I came back from Nam, I signed in the Fort Sill, and I went through 15 units in 8 months because nobody could handle me. And so they kept, it's a true story. So I went through 15 units in 8 months. So one of my transfers was to the military police for rehabilitation transfer. So I sign in, I come in and the first sergeant's there.
Yes, let's rehab him in the MP.
Okay, so I sign in and the first sergeant's talking to me and he goes, I bet you smoke marijuana. And I said, all you have to do is call my other company. Everybody knows I smoke pot. I said, yes, Sarge, I've been known to take a toke or 2 in my time. He goes, once I went to a class, they passed around a marijuana cigarette, so we smoked and tasted and see what it was. I said, well, far out, did you get off? And he goes, no. And I said, well, when it comes legal, I'll take you out and get you high. He goes, well, when it comes legal, I'll pack in my pocket. I went, right on top, you got your shit together. Right, so he makes me sit there, and because he was the first sergeant. So he makes me sit there, and I sit there, and the captain shows up. I don't know, however long, half hour, 20 minutes, I don't know. Anyway, so it was one of those doors, where they got the outside door and then the inside screen door. So, keep the bugs out and stuff. So he comes, opens the outside door. The sergeant jumps up from his table first, runs over, almost hits the captain with the door. Yes, sir, and this man here offered to get me high on marijuana today. I said, no, sir, that's not what I said. I said, when it became legal, I'd take him out and get him high. and the captain's like, blah, 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 blah. And the captain was a dumb shit. You know, he was a jock. I mean, I'm just stereotyping by looking at him. He was a jock, didn't know shit but what the military told him. So he starts giving me all this crap, and I knew my shit. And everything he gave me, I told him, I put him 10-1 down against alcohol. The only reason, final argument, the only reason people smoke marijuana is to get high. People drink alcohol for other reasons. I said, okay, far out. You come home from work and you have a martini or two and you sit back and mellow out, right? He goes, yeah. I said, well, I come home from work, I have a joint or half a joint. I don't get stoned, I just mellow out. You really got your arguments down, Pat. Slurs him into his office and slams the door. So anyway, that night they had a company party. And the first night in the company, that was the night they had the big company, yearly company party. So they bring me to the party, one of the MPs, and I open the door, and when I open the door, there's hundreds of cops in there. And they yell out as loud as they can, Yahoo, I'm a pig too! So anyway, I didn't last long in that company. About 2 weeks later, I'm weeding the grass, and the captain goes, trim your mustache. I said, get me out of this company. I was gone that day.
My only favorite pig story came from, well, 3 years in the Army. Mm-hmm. That was basic training for joining the Postal Service.
Oh, cool. I'm in marching in the parade. I'm supposed to carry the Sioux Sergeant General flag in this parade. There's a Sioux Sergeant General there. So I'm in my uniform. It's all pressed and stuff. You know how you do for parades. So I'm bored to shit. I don't want to stand up. So I lay the flag on the ground and lay on it. So anyway,
oh my Lord.
All these officers and lifers come and glue on me. And I said, what? I said, it's just a piece of cloth. It's not the American flag. It's not my uniform. My uniform means something to me. This is something. This is important. That's just a piece of cloth. So they punished me by kicking me out of the parade.
Yeah, you know what? From my original origins, I'm born in Louisiana, but I was a Marine brat, traveled all my life. And only until I became an adult did I have any length of time of living anywhere and my longest was going back to Louisiana from 1980 to 2000. Well, in 2000, I'm right back up here, and this is the longest I've lived anywhere. It's going on 23 years now. My anniversary of moving back up here is in the same month as my first date and wedding anniversary.
Ooh.
Yeah, January is a good month for me. But down south, they have this thing called outlawing, especially if it's a hunter or a fisherman. And they have this mindset that they can do it. They don't see anything wrong in it. The wildlife fisheries might, but they know how to take off on that four-wheeler trying to evade them. So you were an outlaw. Of the not rebel outlaw.
Oh yeah, definitely that.
Yeah,
you
definitely. Like challenge, like bucking the system, challenging it, or poking fun at it.
I like to poke fun at it, and I laughed. I mean, I laughed all the time at them, and I just couldn't stand it. They knew how to deal with all these people, and fight them and shit. They knew how to deal with that, but they didn't know how to deal with me. I just thought they were funnier than hell. I just stand there and laugh at them.
that is, and you've done that all your life.
I have,
and even with you know.
My cancer and shit?
Yep.
Yeah. When I had, first time I had lymphoma, I got down to 136 pounds. And I'm not one of those people that looks in the mirror, I can shave without looking in the mirror and all this stuff. But anyway, I've never been one that really looked in the mirror, like hence my bald, and all that shit, I didn't never care much. So anyway, I was looking in the mirror one day and I was down to like 136 pounds. I went, holy shit, who's that? And I was shocked. But anyway, I had to do chemo. And I had like 12 days before chemo started. And so I thought, well, shit, or 14 days or something, I can't remember. But anyway, I said, hell, I'm going to fly to Hawaii. So I flew to Hawaii for 12 days. Before chemo. And when everybody was so nice to me, I couldn't understand why everybody was saying so nice things to me for a long time. I was sick, but I was laughing and having a good time. I never even knew I was sick. So, anyway, I came back and I got better, and one of my friends said, well, we all thought you went to Hawaii to die on the beach. And I went, oh, I never thought of that. And I told one of my doctors everybody thought I was going to die, and he said, yeah, we did too. And I had a pin made that says I'm a lymphomaniac. I'd wear that to chemo. And
Well, I admire your ability to. I'm getting a signal.
Oh, is it time?
Yeah, it's about that time.
Okay, that's
do you
fine.
want to come back and do this again?
I don't care.
Hey, either I nudge you or you nudge
Yeah,
me.
you can nudge me.
Because
Wait a while, because
well, it is the holidays, but I don't want to put this off too long because I've enjoyed the visit. My face hurts. My tummy's got a little tiny ache
no worries.
too.
Okay.
And,
well, I don't know what I'll talk about. I've talked about a lot of my life. I don't want to talk about the bad shit, but everybody has bad shit.
Well, sure. We don't need that. We don't need the bad shit. We don't need the diarrhea.
Most of it I don't remember.
Well, that's okay.
Which is really good. I'm really good about not remembering bad shit. Like I had called Denise Cruz. I'll make this quick. The other day because she was going to come and stay overnight with me because I went to the doctor's and I couldn't remember. Somebody had to stay with me because of whatever. I had my adenoids taken out and they wanted somebody to spend the night with me.
Was that recently?
No, I don't know. A year ago.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm not really good with time. I couldn't tell you last week or last month. So probably about a year ago. But anyway, they took my adenoids out, and they wanted somebody to stay, and Denise said she'd stay the night. And so about midnight, I told her, you don't need to stay. I'm fine, so she left. But I called her up or texted her the other day because I was trying to remember why in the hell she was going to be at my house and spend the night. What was the reason? I couldn't remember that they took my adenoids out. I don't remember shit. I could just... it's done. I can forget it.
Well, we love you. We don't mind giving you a nudge.
No, but what I'm saying about, you give me a nudge, but I don't about, remembering stuff. Okay.
Sure.
Thank you.
Oh,
wait a minute.
All right.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
And I'm off.
You're not off. All right. Well, we're fixing to be off. Thank y'all for joining us. It's been a while since we've had a chance to do this. And when they just come together quickly, easily, then it's a show that's meant to happen. And this gentleman has left a lot of his spirit, happy outlook, and spirit in under the roof of our house, as he always does.
Well, when is this going to air?
Well, we're aiming for maybe Sunday evening.
Where does it air? Facebook?
We're gonna. I have some opening credits and closing credits to do.
No. Where do people watch it?
It's going to be on our YouTube channel, live at 12:05. Live at 12:05.
Okay.
And this is a special edition with Jim, and he is welcome to come back and make my face hurt from face-splitting laughter. All he wants to. I wish we could have a whole lot of folks here. Heck, I might even invite folks to ask a question if Jim's okay with that.
I don't care.
Because this man is in your face, bold, honest, frank, direct,
loudmouth,
unapologetic about it.
Obnoxious, pain in the ass.
You speak your mind and your heart, and you're a passionate and loyal person to the people that you love and care for in this music tribe.
I don't have a filter from my mind to my mouth.
I think I'm learning how to lose my filter. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't have a good filter. Okay, thanks guys.
Right,
thanks Rob for doing this. Thanks Jeannie.
We do invite anybody that wants to sponsor a guest on Live at 12:05. We invite you to do that, and that way we can compensate. You can just send them the money, whatever. And
I don't want any money for this.
No, but
if they send money to you, send it to you.
No. We're not the ones that need it. But if anybody is inspired by Jim and all he has given to the community, yes, we did have a beautiful fundraising event that a lot of the a lot of the community came together and celebrated, and musicians came at the drop of a hat out of love for Jimmy. And, please, if you're so inclined, donate to the
Musicians Relief Fund.
Yes, that would. I mean, that is a very dear cause for all of us.
Yeah,
and
it's helped a lot of people. Helped me.
Yes, it did. It was a wonderful team, people that I came to know and love on that team, and it was a magnificent event. And the following one was Sugar Ray.
Oh, also one other thing. If anybody wants to know what harmonica players will listen to, get a hold of me. It won't be Little Walter. Sorry, I'm not a blues guy.
Well, you have opened up a world of wonderful folks.
Lee
Joel
Oscar,
Lassley,
Howard
Lee-
Levy, Peter Magcat,
Mark Hummel. Let me tell you my Mark Hummel
Okay.
story real quick. Okay, at St. Croix or bust
Take one.
at the Rockin' M. Remember that one? And all of your dear friends that came in.
Howard came in. Howard.
Howard,
Jay Mabin.
Jay Mabin, Mark Hummel
Hummel.
was there. The other gentleman with the, who'd you take to the airport, Rob?
I don't know. He went to Florida.
Florida or down south. Anyways, that gentleman, Rob took him to the airport so because they had to catch a plane. Jimmy something or
Oh,
other.
Jimmy Fadden.
Yes,
From
yes.
the Dirt Band.
Well,
Nitty
at
Gritty Dirt
St.
Band.
Croix or bust, that beautiful day. It was so wonderful. And we have a mutual friend, Scott Draxler.
Oh yeah.
And he is a very striking individual. And
Great-
his
great
sense of
songwriter.
great songwriter and great sense of humor.
Yeah.
Wicked, twisted whisker sense of humor. Well, I'm at the door, and here comes this gentleman. He's got this long coat on. He's got this brown hat on. And I'm like, oh, I'm so glad to see you. I didn't know you were coming. And I'm hugging this gentleman because he looked like Scott Draxler.
And it wasn't.
It wasn't. It was Mark Hummel.
Oh.
Yes. So, I mean, I got to hug Mark Hummel.
He's a great guy. Yeah, I mean, it was really nice.
Obviously, because I thought it was my friend Scott Draxler. Okay, we got to
Jason
sign out.
Ritchie wanted to come, but he was sick too.
Yeah,
so.
oh. All right, we're out of here. Look for us by Sunday evening. We'll be out. We'll do a little promo on our Facebook page. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for liking our Facebook page. Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. And thank you, Mr. McLauaghlin.
My pleasure, love. Thanks, Rob.
You're welcome.
Thanks,
Okay,
Becky.
peace out. Oh yeah, thanks, Becky. Becky's here. Hi, Becky. Bye, Becky.
Get out of my studio.
Okay. I can't get up. Something got me by
Bye,
the ass.
y'all.